Happy Friday, everybody. My name is Zach Pasquarello, and I'm going to be going live for the next hour on my YouTube channel. I'm going to try to do this every Friday. I want to answer your questions because I get so many comments on my YouTube videos, on my Facebook page, Instagram, LinkedIn. I simply don't have enough time to respond to everybody's comments. So I want to answer your questions. So I'm going to go live every Friday at 10 a.m. and I want to answer your questions. So drop all of your questions in the chat if you can, and I will do my best to get to everybody. I do feel a little bit sick today, so if I sneeze or cough or sound a little stuffy, I apologize. I'm going to try to last an entire hour, but we'll see. With me being sick, I might have to cut it short. It's Friday, August 29th, 2025. I started my bookkeeping business 5 years ago, and I grew to the point where I had 87 clients earlier this year. I have lost a few clients due to people going out of business or people hiring bookkeepers in-house. Right now, I'm sitting at about 80 bookkeeping clients, $500 per month on average, which means I'm making about $40,000 per month on average from my bookkeeping clients. Starting a bookkeeping business is the best business to start, in my opinion, especially if you love finances, accounting, numbers, whatever, because you can start from anywhere. You can work virtually, remotely, very easy to get started. You don't need to hire employees. You don't need an office. You don't need to spend money on inventory, equipment, vehicles, buildings, employees. You don't need to spend any money. Literally, all you need is a computer and an internet connection. And then you can use QuickBooks Online for free. You can sign up as a QuickBooks Online accountant and you can use their software for free. Other people buy QuickBooks and then they invite you as the bookkeeper to their QuickBooks account. So you don't even have to pay for QuickBooks. And you can even use that QuickBooks account to run your own bookkeeping business. Because, of course, as an entrepreneur, you're going to need to keep track of your own books. So you don't need to pay for QuickBooks. You can go to Google, search for QuickBooks Online Accountant, and you can sign up, create your account for your own business. And then you can also get invited to other people's QuickBooks accounts by using that account. So I'm going to talk real quick about quoting. So right now is busy season for us bookkeepers because September 15th is the extension deadline for partnerships and S corporations. So most likely you're going to get a lot of people reaching out to you saying they need help with bookkeeping for 2024 in the next 2 weeks because they need to file their taxes September 15th if they have an S corp or a partnership. And then if they went on extension for their 1040 individual income tax return, then those are due October 15th. So we are coming up on extensions. So a lot of people are going to be asking you to do cleanup projects, catch up projects, do all of 2024 bookkeeping. Here's my advice when quoting these projects. I typically just go with my normal monthly rate. So let's say, for example, I'm charging somebody $500, then yeah, I'm going to charge you $6,000 to do all of your 2024 bookkeeping. And then guess what? I'm also going to charge you an additional $4,000 to do January through August 2025. Sometimes I will give a slight discount on the cleanup project only if they accept me for their monthly recurring bookkeeping. So I might say something like, hey, I'll do 2024 for $3,500. I would normally charge $6,000, but if you agree to sign up for monthly bookkeeping in 2025 for $500 a month, I'll give you a discount. I'll do 2024 for $3,500 or $4,000 only if they agree to do 2025 monthly recurring bookkeeping. That's the thing. Whenever every time you onboard a new client, it's not just a $500 sale. It's not even just a $6,000 sale if you get them for a 2024 cleanup. You have to view these clients as a 2-year relationship. That's about on average how long I've been keeping my clients, about 2 years. Some stay longer, some stay shorter, but on average, with people going in and out of business, with people hiring office managers, with people switching to their, sometimes I do lose people because they say, hey, my CPA is just going to do my bookkeeping for me. They just decided to do it for a small additional fee per month. So sometimes I do lose clients. On average, my clients stick around for about 2 years. So you have to think that every time you get a client, it's a potential $10,000 sale. That's about the lifetime value of my current clients, about $10,000, because they stick around for about 2 years. They pay about $500 per month. So every time you land a client, it's not just, oh, I just made $500 or even $4,000. You need to start thinking like, I just onboarded a client who will on average pay me $10,000. So if you're just now joining the chat, go ahead and ask your questions in the comment section in the chat. I'm going to do my best to answer everybody's questions. This video is sponsored by my investment fund, Zip Capital. I'm offering 8% up to 12% fixed returns to accredited investors. If you want to invest in my fund, there is a link in the description where you can register on my website and you can learn more. The minimum investment is $25,000. You must be a US citizen and you must be an accredited investor. So if you're interested in joining my investment fund, I would love to chat with you. You can register by clicking the link in the description. Let me talk about quoting bookkeeping projects. So I typically just look at the 3 most recent months if they just want me to do current bookkeeping. But if you want me to do all of your 2024 bookkeeping, I'm going to request all of your 2024 bank statements, 2024 credit card statements, or if everything is linked and updated in the QuickBooks Online bank feed, then you can just invite me to your QuickBooks. And then I'm just going to count up all your transactions in 2024 and multiply it by 3. And that is going to be the quote to clean up 2024 bookkeeping. Now, if you don't want a cleanup project and you just want current bookkeeping, I'll just look at the 3 most recent months, add up all those transactions, and that is your monthly bookkeeping fee. So that's how I get that $500 a month. Okay, let's go on to the chat. Let's see what people are saying. Happy Friday, Zach. TGIF. Wow. How did the investor meeting with the Detroit investor go? Very good. So thank you, Steele, for bringing that up. On Monday, I had a $1 million investor meeting. Somebody from Detroit flew to Pennsylvania to meet with me, and he is interested possibly investing $1 million. We're going to reconnect on the phone next week. Let's see. I want to STR. I want to start maybe. Thank you for your time, Zach. Absolutely, Andrew. Let's see. Somebody said, happy Friday. I want to start my own company in India where I have access to affordable bookkeepers, but how to reach and find your first client. So the best way to find clients is social media marketing. Create a Facebook page, LinkedIn, Instagram, and just start creating content and just be authentic, be yourself, be genuine, be transparent, be honest, be open. Start a Facebook page and say, hey, everybody, my name's Zach, and I just started a bookkeeping business. I'm currently studying to get my QuickBooks Online Certified Pro Advisor. If anybody needs help with their bookkeeping or their QuickBooks, I would love to help. And then just create posts every day. You can create bookkeeping tips. You can create personal business updates. You can create general business tips and tricks and strategies. You just got to create content every single day. You got to get your name out there. You got to get in front of people. If you follow, all of my social media channels are linked below. Follow me on social media and you can see what I'm posting. I'm not perfect. I'm not great, but it could be some inspiration for you on what you can post and how you can post and where you can post and what you can talk about. So I'm pretty much only promoting my investment fund, Zip Capital, but the same concepts apply. The same principles, the same strategy applies if you're trying to promote your bookkeeping business or if I'm trying to promote Zip Capital. So I definitely recommend follow me on social media and just see what I do. And if you want really specific strategic help, then if you go to my website, it's linked below, harrisburgbookkeeping.com/store. There is a 30-day social media marketing strategy guide where I literally show you exactly what I would post each day and how to do it and where to do it and what to say and what to talk about. So check that out on my website. It's for sale, harrisburgbookkeeping.com/store. I made that 30-day social media marketing strategy guide just for people like you who are trying to get started. All right, Brian, I started using ChatGPT to help me put together ideas on social media posting. It drew out a 30-day outline of various posts I can use for Facebook, LinkedIn, and Nextdoor. ChatGPT is really cool. Brian, absolutely. So I just made a video about artificial intelligence, AI, ChatGPT. I just made a video on Tuesday, and it was all about using AI for your bookkeeping business. And it talked a lot about us getting replaced by AI, but I also gave you some tips and tricks on how to use AI because I don't necessarily think that we are going to get replaced by AI, but instead, I think we're going to get replaced by people who know how to use AI. So you can use AI literally in your bookkeeping business to help you categorize transactions and reconcile accounts and create financial reports, but you can also use it in your bookkeeping business for sales and marketing. You can use it to create content, just like Brian is talking about. However, I will warn you, ChatGPT AI is a great starting point. It's a great way to generate ideas, but it's not necessarily a 100% solution. So I will use it to create ideas. I'll say, hey, give me 10 new ideas that I could talk about in my next YouTube video. Give me 5 new ideas that I could use to create a short video on Facebook to promote Zip Capital. So use it to create ideas, use it to refine or polish your posts, but I would not recommend using it 100% solution to like straight up create your content from start to finish, but it could be a really good option to come up with ideas. And then also sometimes I will think of a post and I'll just go to ChatGPT. I'll say, "Hey, here's my post. Can you finish this for me?" And then I'll write like the first half of it, and then I'll just run out of creative juice, and I'll just copy and paste and say, "Hey, here's my Facebook post. Use my style and finish this." Or I will just kind of like start typing like a long run on sentence. I'll say, hey, here's my idea. Turn this into a long Facebook post using my style that is motivational, inspirational, educational, and tie it back to promoting my investment fund, Zip Capital. Okay. Sorry, I'm sick. If you guys hear me sniffing, coughing, sneezing, I do apologize. Let's see, Thomas, thanks again for the meeting. What trends are you currently seeing as far as client segmentation, home services? So I'm not entirely sure what you mean, Thomas, but some of the best clients that I've got are real estate investors and contractors. And what I mean by contractors, roofers, landscapers, drywall, framing, home remodeling, construction companies, anybody who like works on buildings or like does things with their hands, like the trades, those electricians, plumbers, those are really great clients because they have really legit businesses. And a lot of times they're super successful. A lot of times it's usually just an owner operator, a solo entrepreneur, one guy who's running the business. Maybe he has a few subcontractors and they don't go out of business. Out of all the companies that I work with, the ones that typically go out of business are not the trades, the construction, the real estate investors. Those guys stay in business because they're great companies. They're needed, and they're just great companies. So those are probably some of my best clients. Apart from that, I don't really think it matters what niche you choose, what industry you choose. Everybody's different. There's going to be some people who so every Monday at 3 p.m. I have a weekly call. It's a private group. It's kind of like this, but it's like a Zoom call where everybody kind of shows their faces and everybody can talk. It's actually linked below if you want to join it. But inside that meeting, there's a bookkeeper who she has a ton of kids and she actually just works with midwives. Like how crazy of a niche is that? Like she just works with midwives and she's crushing it. She's doing great, but I would never pick that niche. I would never even think to pick that niche. But she has a lot of kids and I think she stays home with a lot of her kids. And so I'm sure she has a lot more in common with midwives than maybe, let's say, an auto mechanic or a landscaper versus somebody else who maybe in a past life, maybe you love cars, or maybe you had a landscaping company right out of college. Or for me, perfect example, I actually had a trucking company for 2 years. So I worked with a lot of truckers because they were like, hey, you literally have a trucking company. You probably know my industry. So I'm going to hire you as my bookkeeper. So the reason I bring all that up is because there is no one niche fits all. Like for you, it might be different. For me, it might be different. For the lady who's in my weekly calls on Monday at 3 p.m., it's totally different for her. We all have a different interest. I mean, we all work differently with different business owners. Me personally, I enjoy working with real estate investors. So that works out really well for me. The reason I bring all this up, I don't think it matters what niche you pick. You don't even need to pick a niche. But if you do pick a niche, here's my advice: wait, get 10 clients first. I didn't even know about real estate investing until I started my bookkeeping business. I started working with real estate investors and I started to like it. If I would have picked a niche, I probably would have picked trucking companies, and then I might have missed out on working with a ton of real estate investors. So wait, don't pick a niche in the very beginning. Get your first 5 or 10 clients and then you can pick. And then also, I've said it a million times, I'll say it again. You don't necessarily need to pick a niche in the idea of it's the service that you work with, but instead, you need to pick a niche in the software that you use and the services that you provide. So I've already talked about it, so I'm not going to get too far into it. I'm going to get back to the questions, but that's my advice for picking a niche. If anybody is new, just now joining, if you have any questions, feel free to drop them in the chat. Okay. Let's get right back to it. Let's see. What are the other questions? I want to be a bookkeeper in your company and want to work with you so that I learn from the mentor like you. I'm following you because I found you very genuine. So, how do you get experience? That's like one of the hardest parts. So, a lot of people message me and say, "Hey, I'll work for you for free. I just want to get experience." And I'll be honest, I'm not going to hire anybody for free. I would rather hire somebody who with a little bit of experience and offer to pay them. So, my best advice for you, if you're struggling, I would not necessarily offer your services for free, but instead, what you can do is you can offer your services at a pretty deep discount just to get your first client. That's what I did. I worked for somebody $25 per hour 5 years ago when I just got started. So I guarantee you could find a client in 2 months if you offer your services at 20 or 25 bucks an hour and just say like, "Hey, I'm relatively new. I'm a certified QuickBooks Pro advisor. I understand bookkeeping and accounting fundamentals. I just want to get some experience. I will work for you for the next 6 months, 20, 25 bucks an hour, 10 hours a week." That's a good job. That's a good part-time gig. So if you really want to get experience, don't necessarily offer to work for free, but become a certified QuickBooks Pro advisor, learn bookkeeping fundamentals, take intro to accounting, write this down. If you're brand new, here's what you need to know and understand, and not just the textbook definition of these terms, but you need to really understand these terms: balance sheet, income statement, assets, liabilities, equity, accounts receivable, accounts payable, income, expenses, and debits and credits. You need to understand how debits and credits affect all of those different types of chart of accounts. So understand income, expenses, debits, credits, accounts payable, accounts receivable. Just really understand how those concepts work together. And you can pretty much learn almost all of that in intro to accounting or by taking QuickBooks has a bookkeeping course that's free. I've never taken it, but I've heard good things about it. So QuickBooks Online Intuit does have a free bookkeeping certification. I will add, I also have a course for sale. It's linked in the description of this video. And if you use the discount code in the description, you'll get $50 off my course. It will teach you everything you need to know, start to finish: QuickBooks Online, bookkeeping fundamentals, marketing, sales, customer service, what to do when you actually get your first client. So check out my bookkeeping course. It is linked in the description of this video. All right, let's see. Hello, been watching your videos and love them, learning a lot. How often do you rescope a client and change the monthly bookkeeping fee? How do clients react to changing from $2 to $3 a transaction? I rescope my clients every 6 to 12 months. So I will typically look at them every 6 to 12 months, and you just kind of know. You just kind of have a gut feeling. After you've worked for somebody for 6 months, you already know, is this client a huge pain in the butt? Am I doing way more for this client than I am for somebody else? Or maybe this client's paying me 900 bucks a month and it's really not that much work. So I do not blanket default automatically increase everybody's price every 6 months or every 12 months. But instead, I really do look at it on an individual basis because there really are some clients who are not that hard to work with and who are paying a pretty good monthly rate. So if that's the case, I don't touch them. I don't bother them. I'm happy to keep them. On the other hand, there are some clients who you onboard last year and they're paying $300 a month and their business has grown and it's a huge pain in the butt. It's so much work. And then yes, maybe I will increase them 10 or 15%. So it's not a blanket. It's not a default. It's not an automatic increase. It's not like I increase everybody 5% every 12 months. I really do look at it on an individual basis. And there's no formula, there's no science, there's no exact strategy for doing it. It's every 6 or 12 months and it's usually 5 or 10%. So that's kind of the range, but it all depends on the client. Let's see. Happy Friday. 0700 West Coast time. You are up early. I appreciate that. I enjoy finance and budget, doing QuickBooks Pro Advisor exams, really getting sidetracked with which categorized items get put into, and also inventory. Okay. So whenever you onboard a new client, here's the best thing. Whenever you onboard a new client, you can look to see how transactions were recorded in the past. So there's really only 20 major chart of accounts that all of your expenses fall into. So if you take on a client who has a pre-existing business, you can just simply look to see how they recorded transactions in the past. If they went to Home Depot, look to see how they categorized Home Depot transactions. If they went to Amazon, or if they paid for insurance or utilities or payroll or subcontractors or advertising, you can look to see how those transactions were categorized in the past. If it's a brand new client, I will agree that is a little bit more difficult. I usually just take it one transaction at a time. So I don't necessarily import a long list of default chart of accounts. I have some clients who are brand new and only have 5 chart of accounts. Whenever I started Zip Capital, I only have like 4 or 5 chart of accounts. I have interest paid, office supplies and software, bank charges, and maybe 1 or 2 other categories for my investment fund Zip Capital. But I'm not jumping in to create 20 automatic chart of accounts. So I know it is tough to categorize transactions, but just play it by ear. One transaction at a time. As new transactions start coming in, maybe you need to create new chart of accounts. And then finally, so there's a pretty common list of like 20 chart of accounts. I'm not going to go over it here, but you can probably guess what they are. And actually, if you go to the chart of accounts in QuickBooks and look at the detail type, QuickBooks already has a pretty good list of like 20 or 30 detail types under expenses. You can already see what common chart of accounts are. It's like supplies and materials, repairs and maintenance, payroll, utilities, travel, meals, car and truck, office supplies and software, payroll wages, advertising, bank charges. It's really common stuff. And so as my clients start spending money and start having new expenses and new vendors and new contractors, if you really don't know how to categorize something, don't be afraid to ask the customer. Ask your client, be like, hey, here was this Venmo transaction August 29th for $1,000. Would you mind telling me, first of all, who did you pay? And second of all, what did you buy? Could you give me just a brief description of what you purchased? Chances are it's going to be like 3 or 4 different things, either independent contractor, job supplies, office supplies. It's probably going to be one of those 3 or 4 things. Okay, let's look at, or travel or advertising. There's really not that many different chart of accounts. Every business is different, but also at the same time, every business has their similarities. Every business owner has travel, advertising, office supplies, software. There are a lot of similarities. That's one of the good things of having a niche. So I work with real estate investors. So I will talk specifically on real estate investors real quick, specifically real estate investors. People flip houses and people hold houses. So if you're holding houses, there's rental expenses, there's interest, insurance, utilities, repairs and maintenance. And then if you flip houses, there's the same thing. There's finance cost, holding cost, repairs and maintenance, and closing costs and purchase costs. So there are different types of expenses based on different industries. So that's why it is helpful to have a niche once you've kind of figured out which niche you want to have. Because at this point, I really am a real estate investing bookkeeping expert. So I actually teach my clients a lot about the accounting and bookkeeping of their business when it comes to real estate investing, because a lot of people don't really know the very specific details of real estate investing. So I'm sure trucking, restaurants, real estate, I'm sure every industry does have their specific nuances when it comes to bookkeeping. So that is one of the real benefits of picking a niche. You can become an expert and you can actually teach your clients what they should be doing when it comes to their bookkeeping and their QuickBooks. Okay. Brett, hi Zach. With your marketing strategy, how many new clients on average do you see other people bringing in each month? I would say, Brett, 2 to 4. 2 to 4 should be your goal. When you're just getting started, 1 to 2. When you're more experienced, 3 to 5. But I would say if you're bringing in 2 to 4 new clients every month, that should be a really good growth point. You might lose 1 or 2 per month. And if you bring in 3 to 4 per month, sometimes you might lose 1. Sometimes you might lose 0. Sometimes you might bring in 4 or 5. If you bring in 2 to 4 new clients every month, you're going to steadily grow. But here's the thing, you always need to bring in new clients because you will lose clients. Even if you deliver the best, absolute best customer service, at some point you will eventually lose clients. It's just the nature of the industry. People hire in-house bookkeepers, people go out of business, you will lose clients. So I would try to get 2 to 4 new clients every month. When you're just getting started, just try to get 1 or 2. But whenever you have a year of experience, try to get 3 or 4 new clients per month. All right, Lewis. I recently started full-time as a bookkeeper for a business for its 5 stores. I've done the Intuit course, bookkeeper course, but I still feel unprepared to start and handle clients. How do I solve? All right, Lewis, you need to get experience. And it's only going to come by you taking a chance and just starting to do bookkeeping. So what you could, so you've done 2 out of the 3 things that I recommend. Intuit course to become a certified QuickBooks Pro advisor, Intuit course for the bookkeeping course. But third thing you can do is take Intro to Accounting at an local online college or a community college. Those are the 3 things that you really could do from a textbook perspective to get prepared. But other than those 3 things, you don't need a college degree. You don't need full-time work experience. You just need experience working as a bookkeeper. Here's the thing. You're going to make mistakes, and that sucks. I hate making mistakes. I hate messing up, but it's just that's what happens. Even if you were a full-time employee at somebody's business, you would make mistakes and you would have to fix them. Somebody else would have to fix them. You would learn. Who knows? Maybe you would get fired or maybe you would get put on probation. I don't know. Mistakes happen. So you're going to make mistakes. That is just part of the business. Every entrepreneur who has ever done it before has made mistakes. But here's the thing. You got to learn from your mistakes and don't make the same mistake twice. You have to learn and you cannot continue to make the same mistake over and over again. If you do that, that's no good. That's going to be bad. But making a mistake once, we're human. Everybody makes mistakes. You've heard the saying, don't let the fear of striking out keep you from playing the game. Don't let the fear of making a mistake prevent you from starting your bookkeeping business. You're going to make mistakes. That's just part of the industry. That's just part of the business. But then also, you have to have relatively thick skin. As an entrepreneur, you have to have thick skin. You have to have confidence. So even if you just want to be an accountant, then you could just go work for a company and be a staff accountant and make $60,000, $70,000 a year, and you will have an amazing job. But if you want to be an entrepreneur, if you want to be a bookkeeper, but as a business owner, you can also do that. But there's a lot more that goes into it. You need to have thick skin. You need to have the confidence to work with total strangers, other entrepreneurs. You need to have the confidence to put your name out there and to do advertising and sales and marketing and meet new people and be on social media and do sales, like that's hard. It's really hard to start a bookkeeping business. Don't ever, it's hard to start any business. It's a lot easier to just go to a job interview and get a W-2 job and just have your team and just work as an accountant. That's not very hard. You can make a fine living doing that. But if you really want to start a business and be independent and do your own thing, that's really, really hard. So don't ever let anybody tell you that starting a bookkeeping business is going to be easy. Don't ever let anybody tell you starting any business is going to be easy. It's going to be very, very hard. You have to have confidence. You've got to have thick skin and you have to be willing to make mistakes, but you also have to learn from your mistakes. Don't make the same mistake twice. All right, let's see. Let's see. I just lost my place in Lime. Where am I? Where am I? Okay. I recently start. Let's see. Is word of mouth the best form of marketing? I'm going to be going to several in-person networking events in September, but I don't want to waste my time. I'm not a huge fan of in-person networking events. I talked a lot about this last week, so I'm not going to touch on it too much in this video. In-person networking events, in my opinion, can be a waste of time. If you're introverted and if you are very low on time, if you've got a family and a full-time job and you're very busy on the weekend, you don't need to go to in-person networking events. If you're single and maybe you're working part-time, or maybe you're fresh out of college, or maybe you're an empty nester and your kids are out of the house, if you're single or you don't have as many personal obligations, and if you're extroverted, if you want to do these things, absolutely. By all means, go to the in-person networking events. Could be a great opportunity to meet some new people and have fun. You don't have to. I did not go to any in-person networking events for like the first 2 years of my business. I did everything on social media. And my logic, my reasoning was that you can accomplish so much more, so much faster. You can reach so many more people on the internet, social media, from the comfort of your own home on your phone for free, anytime, anywhere. You can reach people all over the country. So in my opinion, you can accomplish a lot more by creating content, creating videos, engaging. So here's the thing. It's all about creating relationships, building trust. And you're going to do that two ways. One, by creating your own content and just like making content and promoting your business, but also genuinely engaging with people on the internet. You can comment on other people's posts. You can reply to comments on your own post. You can create live videos like this. You can send messages to people. You can call people on the phone. There are so many ways that you can create real relationships on the internet. For example, Zip Capital, my investment fund. I met somebody, a local entrepreneur, 5 years ago on Facebook. And he and I literally built a relationship on Facebook, on the internet. And we spoke on the phone a couple times. I helped him with his bookkeeping business. He and I actually worked together when I had my trucking company yesterday. Literally just yesterday, he sent me a message. He said, "Hey, I want to invest in Zip Capital. My wife has a few questions. Can we meet?" I said, "Hey, let's do a Zoom call first, and then if you want to meet in person, we can." So he, his wife, and me, we all met over a Zoom call, and she asked her questions. I explained Zip Capital, and they said, "Yes, we want to do this." And today, literally today, they are investing $250,000 into Zip Capital, all because over the past 5 years, he and I have been connected on Facebook. He and I have talked together on the phone. We message on Facebook. We share business ideas. I helped him with his business. He gave me advice on my business. Over the course of 5 years, we literally built a relationship all on the internet, pretty much all on the internet. We met a couple times in person, pretty much all on the internet, from the comfort of my own home for free on Facebook. And today, he's investing $250,000 into my fund. So, two takeaways here. You can create real relationships. You can build real trust on the internet. Look what we're doing right now. I'm creating this video. I'm literally talking to people all over the world, and I'm just sitting in my home office in Pennsylvania. So you can build real relationships on the internet. But the second takeaway, it takes time. Nothing happens fast. It takes a ton of time. You have to be consistent. You have to show up every single day and you have to be consistent and you cannot give up. That's the real reason people fail. They give up. It's hard. You got to be consistent. You got to show up every single day. Follow my social media channels. Look at the stuff I'm doing. I'm creating stories, LinkedIn posts, Instagram posts, reels, short videos, pictures with captions. I'm doing a lot. It takes a lot if you want to grow, and you got to do it for a long period of time. You got to be consistent. So there is no shortcut. There's no magic secret to getting rich quick or to growing a business quickly. There's no secret. It's going to just take hard work, consistency, and commitment for a long period of time. All right, Brian, I currently have one client to learn the ins and outs for free, gaining great experience while taking the Pro Advisor course, passed the QBO bookkeeping course, 3 courses. These courses help too. Absolutely, Brian. That's great advice. Let's see. I have 1.5 years of experience in certified QBO Pro Advisor and currently working in a fintech company in RTR process. That's great experience. It sounds like Brian and Dixie, it sounds like you both have really great experience. I'm telling you, you do not need a ton of experience to get started. You need to understand the basics and the fundamentals, but you really don't need a ton of experience to get started. Let's be honest, no entrepreneur has a ton of experience when they get started. Sure, some people might have been operating as an independent contractor for 10 or 15 years, but the majority of entrepreneurs, when they get started, they have very little experience. That's just how people get started. You just get started, you take a leap of faith. So entrepreneurs receive outsized returns because they take outsized risk. So it's easier to make $100,000 as an employee. If you want to make $60,000 to $100,000, go work for a company. You'll have a very secure lifestyle, W-2 income, benefits, very secure. You'll have a job for the rest of your life. But if you want to make $500,000, it's a lot harder to do that as an employee. If you want to make $500,000, you're either going to need to be a very successful employee or you'll need to start your own company. So entrepreneurs take outsized risk and they earn outsized returns. You can make a lot more money as an entrepreneur, but it's much riskier. There's a lot of entrepreneurs who fail. And unfortunately, some of you watching this video right now, I'm just going to be honest, some of you are probably going to fail. And that's just the nature of entrepreneurship. It's not for everybody. It's amazing. If you work hard and never give up, you can absolutely be successful, but some of you will fail. Thanks, though. This is really helpful. I'll keep everything in mind and work on these things. Absolutely. Hi, Zach. Thank you for your content. It really helps. Do you think it's a good idea to start by offering my services as a freelance bookkeeper to accounting firms during their peak workload periods? This is a great question. I'm not a huge fan of basically being an independent contractor for accounting firms. I would much prefer to get my own clients. I just don't like the idea of being dependent on somebody else because they could end that relationship anytime. It's great to get experience, but I truly believe if you advertise your services at 20 bucks an hour, 25 bucks an hour, you could run a promo. You could say, "Hey, for the next 6 months, I'm offering bookkeeping services at 25 bucks an hour." I guarantee you will get interest. You will get phone calls and messages and emails. I would try that for 30 days. Run a 6-month promo. Run a 2025 promo. For the rest of the year, I'm offering bookkeeping services at $25 per hour. I am a certified QuickBooks Online Pro Advisor. That's what you could say. Tell people I am a certified QuickBooks Pro Advisor. I really do think that would help. I think that would be better. I think that would be better than trying to work as a freelancer for a CPA firm or an accounting firm. Okay, let's see. What else? Steel Sadler. Now that you have increased your efforts into Zip Capital content, how has the pace of obtaining new bookkeeping clients changed? Is it a testament to making daily content versus not? Steel, absolutely. I am not getting new bookkeeping clients like I used to. Right now, I'm getting like 1, maybe 2 new bookkeeping clients per month. because I'm not doing any marketing. I'm not doing any advertising for my bookkeeping company. So I am still taking on new bookkeeping clients, but having a website, having a Google My Business profile is not enough to get bookkeeping clients. You need to actively promote your bookkeeping company. 100%. I am not just still getting bookkeeping clients like I used to. Like I was getting 5 to 10 new bookkeeping clients per month in 2024. Here's how my business grew. 4 years. First year, 10 clients. Second year, 20 clients. Third year, 40 clients. Fourth year, 2024, 80 clients. My business literally doubled every year for the first 4 years. And the same thing can happen to you if you stay consistent and don't give up. First year, 10 clients. The first year, I made $55,000. I quit my full-time job at Amazon. I was an area manager at Amazon making $100,000 per year in 2020. I quit that job and I made $55,000 in 2021. I made less money in 2021. Huge risk. Are you kidding me? Huge risk. 2021, I only made $55,000. But the following year, 2022, $110,000. The next year, $300,000. 2024, $700,000. 55,000, 110,000, 300,000, 700,000. And this year, I'm on pace to make $1 million. That's profit. That's taxable income. And not everything, that's not just from my bookkeeping business. I've got education, like I sell my course and I do YouTube and I sell digital downloads and I've got weekly meetings. So education, private money lending with Zip Capital, and bookkeeping. I make, let's see, out of the $1 million, I would probably say 60%, 600,000 is from bookkeeping, 100,000 is from education, 300,000 is from private money lending. That's about the split. Okay, I kind of went off topic there for a second. Definitely lost my place. Okay, let's see. Appreciate everything, Zach. Been watching your videos over the last 5 months and have 3 clients, all because of your guidance. Look at that, everybody. That's what I'm talking about. Somebody right there in the chat. They have 3 clients because of what they've learned from my YouTube videos. That's what it's all about. There's no magic secret. There's no quick get rich quick scheme. It's just all about consistency. It's all about just doing the little things, practicing the fundamentals every single day. Liz Sanchez. Hi, Zach. I've been following you for a while now. I just need help with marketing strategy. Do you just sell that course? Liz, go to my store. It's linked below, I think, harrisburgbookkeeping.com/store. And there is the 30-day social media marketing strategy guide. So that should be enough, Liz, to get you started on marketing. So that is included in my course. That's included in the course. If you buy the course, you get the 30-day social media marketing strategy guide. Or if you don't want the whole course, if you already know bookkeeping and QuickBooks, you can just get the 30-day social media marketing strategy guide. Laylo, any thoughts on getting your CPA, Zach? Okay. I was going to, because I thought I wanted to open up, like start doing taxes and start doing strategy and advisory services. So I was on pace to get my CPA. So 2021, 2022, I took college classes. In 2023, I think. I ended up taking 9 undergrad and graduate level accounting classes, 9 college classes over the course of 3 years. And I had enough college credits to sit for the CPA exam. And so I was ready to start studying for the CPA exam. But 2023, I made $300,000 as a bookkeeper. And so I decided I thought that I wanted to become a CPA so that I can make more money. But then I realized I can make a ton of money as a bookkeeper, and I enjoyed doing bookkeeping. And so I just did not have enough time with my family and my bookkeeping business. I did not have enough time to sit for the CPA exam. So if you really want to do taxes, then sure, become a CPA, become an enrolled agent. Absolutely great career, a lot of benefits. If you just want to do bookkeeping, and make a lot of money, you can absolutely do that without becoming a CPA, just doing bookkeeping. You do not need to become a CPA if you want to make a lot of money. If you want to become a CPA just to become a CPA and do taxes, sure. But if you're just doing it to make your family proud or to prove yourself or to accomplish something, don't do it. Those are not the right reasons. If you really want to do it because you love taxes and you just love the idea of being a CPA and maybe offering higher level advisory services and potentially representing your clients in front of the IRS, then sure, become a CPA. But if you're just doing it for the notoriety or for the income or to prove yourself or to feel like you accomplished something or to make your parents proud, don't do it. Those are not legit reasons. You can accomplish all of those things by being an entrepreneur, being a bookkeeper, and just sticking to QuickBooks Online and bookkeeping. You do not need to become a CPA. Let's see. And are all your clients new businesses? No. And some of my clients have been in business for 10 years, 15 years. I get a lot of my clients from people who had an old accountant and their old accountant just retired. So a lot of people had an accountant for the past 20 years, but then their accountant is retiring. So they needed to find somebody new. So not all of my businesses are new businesses. Let's see. Joy. Oh, I just lost it. Joy, what did you say? I'm pitching to a new client Tuesday, 3-tier offer, 900 transactions per month, job costing, 4,200 KPI reporting, thoughts, advice, encouragement, please. Joy, here's the thing. Give them that quote. And then if they say no, ask them why. Or if they say that's too expensive, so give them the quote and just understand that this is not the final end all be all negotiation. There is room, there's wiggle room. So give them that quote. And then if they say no, or if they give you pushback, that's fine. Now we start negotiating. So maybe call them. Like if they don't respond in 48 hours, call them. Be like, hey, I sent you the bookkeeping quote a couple days ago. Just following up. Did you have any questions? If you don't hear from them for a week, call them again. If they don't answer your phone call, email them. Follow up with them every 2 to 3 days, every week until they respond. And if they say no, ask them why. If they say it's too expensive, say, okay, how much did you want to pay? What's your budget? If you offer $2,700 a month bookkeeping, maybe they wanted to keep it under $2,400. Okay, that's fine. How about we split the difference? You wanted 24, I offer 27. How about 2550? How about 24? How about 2400? That's fine. How about 2400? That's fine. I'll do your bookkeeping for 24. Deal? Okay, great. Let's go. Let's get started. Follow up with them if you don't hear back, be willing to negotiate. A couple $100, I'm fine with that. Johnny, do you ever quote people quarterly pricing instead of just monthly pricing? No, Johnny, I don't do that. I don't like it. I don't do it. Not a fan of it. Monthly bookkeeping, take it or leave it. Minimum $300 per month. How much time should I spend doing cold calls to local business owners? Is it more worth my time and efforts to focus on the social media strategy? I do not like cold calling. I do not like cold calling. If somebody reaches out to me, or if somebody fills out a form on my website, absolutely calling them immediately. But I am not cold calling people randomly to try to solicit my services because I think it's a waste of time. Maybe you could call one person every 5 minutes. So that would be what, 10 to 15 people per hour. Imagine if you spent an hour creating a social media marketing content that reached 1,000 people and then did that every single day for an hour. I would so much rather you spend an hour of your time creating the rock star social media marketing content instead of trying to cold call people for an hour. You're just going to reach so many more people. It's so much more sustainable. I believe cold calling is only good. You can hire a cold caller. That is not a good use of your time as a business owner. Cold calling. I think marketing is a much more efficient use of your time as a business owner. If you want to hire a cold caller, sure, that could help supplement your business. But you as a business owner, I believe, should not be spending time cold calling. August, are you ever looking for subcontractors to help you with your business? I have one subcontractor, very happy with him. And so I hired this one subcontractor in May. And so every new client that I get from May moving forward, I immediately give to my subcontractor. So I am currently managing all of the clients that I got over the past 4 years. And then any new client that onboards with me goes straight to my subcontractor. And we do a 20-80 split. So he does the work for 20% of the revenue split. After 6 months of that client working with us, his revenue split goes up, and then it goes up every 6 months after that. But it starts at a 20% revenue split. When you're reaching out on Facebook, do you do it through your personal account or your business account? I do everything through my personal account. Everything through my personal account. Do you have local businesses only or nationwide as well? My clients are all over the country. The majority of my clients are local. And you have TikTok? I do not have TikTok. I've never been on TikTok. That's the one social media that I don't have. I don't have it personally. I don't have it professionally. I've never been on TikTok before. Bob, I'm currently learning bookkeeping with QuickBooks. I know how to manage AP and AR, make bank reconciliation. I'm afraid to learn for nothing because of high competition for entry level job. Bob, you got to take a chance. You can't be afraid. Worst case scenario, give it a try for 6 months. Keep your current job, whatever you're doing right now, keep your full time job and work extra hard on your bookkeeping business. Here's the thing, you're going to need to make sacrifices. Absolutely. If you want to be successful in anything, you need to make sacrifices. So for me, that meant football on the weekend. That meant staying up late and watching TV. I try to go to bed early so that I can wake up early so that I can get my work done before my kids wake up. And on the weekend, I don't watch as much football as I used to. Fantasy football. I don't play fantasy football. I don't have time for that. I sacrifice on the weekends. Friday night, I'm going to bed early Friday night so that I can wake up early on Saturday and work for 3 hours before my kids wake up. Those are the kind of sacrifices you need to make if you want to grow your bookkeeping business. If you don't want to grow, if you love going out Friday night with your friends, if you love sleeping in Saturday morning, if you love spending 10 hours on Sunday watching football, by all means, do whatever makes you happy. But if you're not happy doing that and you want to grow your business and you want to make more money, you will need to make sacrifices. It's all about you choose. I'm not telling you what you should do. I'm just telling you what I did to achieve my goals. All right, Grayson, do you get clients before officially registering your business? I registered my business as an LLC. As a veteran, it was free for me to do it in Pennsylvania. But if you're not a veteran, I think in Pennsylvania, it costs $70 to register your company as an LLC. I recommend just register your company as an LLC, get an EIN number, get a business bank account, get a website. Do all four of those things. It'll take you 2 weeks to get it all done. It'll cost you a couple $100. Definitely recommend just get things set up properly in the beginning. You'll thank yourself later down the road. Asif, can you talk about how you handle messy opening balances in past cleanup projects? Every account is different. That's probably one of the hardest things when you onboard a new client. Every chart of account on the balance sheet should have some documentation. So bank accounts, credit card accounts, loan accounts, absolutely no exceptions. Those all need to be reconciled to the bank account statements, to the credit card statements. But some of my clients do have some balance sheet accounts from previous years that have never been touched, have never been cleaned up, and there's only so much you can do. So there's two different types of clients. There's clients who care a lot about their books and have perfect books. There's other clients who don't care about their books and never want to talk to you and just hope that the IRS never sends them a letter. So the clients who care a lot about their books, I give them all the attention that they want. The clients who don't care about their books, I will do my best. I will ask them questions. I will send them reports. I will say, hey, here are 3 balance sheet accounts. Here is this loan from 2021. Here's this asset from 2012. What is this? Do you still have these? Are these loans still open? Do you still own this asset? I will send them questions. If they answer my questions, amazing. If we schedule a meeting and go over things and share screens and talk through things, amazing. I'm here for it. But if they don't respond to my questions, I'm not a mind reader. There's only so much I can do. So do your best. Whenever there's messy balance sheet accounts and messy chart of accounts, do your best, but there's only so much that you can do. All right. Next question. Do you price based on transaction volume, like fixed fees up to X transactions and higher tiers beyond? What ranges do you find fair? I keep it super simple. I can quote you in 10 minutes. Invite me to your QuickBooks or send me your 3 most recent bank statements and credit card statements. I'm adding up all your transactions over the past 3 months. And then that's your fee. So I charge you 3 times your average monthly transactions. Or if I'm doing a whole year cleanup, a whole 2024 cleanup, I'm just counting all of your 2024 transactions, bank statements, credit card statements, all your 2024 transactions, multiply it by 3. That's your quote for 2024. I have had a ton of success quoting like that. Usually it ends up being anywhere from $500 to $2,000 per month. So if they have 200 transactions per month, $600. If they have, you get the idea, 800 transactions per month, $2,400. Pretty simple. Pretty simple. Where to get the certificate for QBO Pro Advisor? Log in. So go to QuickBooks and log in as an online accountant. It's different. Log in as an online accountant is different from logging in as a regular online QuickBooks Online user. So you have to go to Google, type in QuickBooks Online Accountant, and create an account. Lewis, thank you for your answer. Are you aware of the enrolled agent route to handle taxes? It requires a fee and a big exam to become one, but not in all states. Yeah, being an enrolled agent is a great alternative to becoming a CPA if you want to represent your clients in front of the IRS. Let's see. Here in Spain, it's hard to sell bookkeeping only. Clients want tax filings. That's why I see value in offering my services directly to firms under their umbrella or partnering one. Yeah, Spain's probably different. I know in the United States, I have a ton of success only offering bookkeeping services. A lot of people have their tax accountant. Their tax accountant never changes, but a lot of tax accountants don't do bookkeeping or they're not good at doing bookkeeping. So I offer real-time bookkeeping. The tax accountant, the big accounting firms, they do the bookkeeping, but it's at the end of the year, end of the quarter. They're just throwing things together just to get the taxes filed. But I offer a much more white glove type of service. I'm in your QuickBooks every single week, asking you questions on a weekly basis, recording your transactions every single week, reconciling your accounts every month, and sending your financial reports every single month. So that's my biggest selling point. I do your bookkeeping in real time. Next week, the first week of September, I'm going to be sending everybody their profit and loss. So that's my biggest selling point. If you want real, accurate, updated, real-time financial reports, you got to hire a bookkeeper. You can't just rely on your tax accountant to do your bookkeeping because they're not going to keep up with it on a weekly, monthly basis. Hi, Zach. Where do you recommend to take into accounting course? Local community college, or I have a course for sale on my website. Go to the description, check out the link. I do have a bookkeeping course. It teaches you everything: bookkeeping fundamentals, QuickBooks tutorials, sales and marketing, customer service, A to Z. It teaches you much more than just bookkeeping. It teaches you how to actually start a bookkeeping business. And where did you get the website? Did you buy the domain? Yes, squarespace.com. Squarespace is where I got my website and my domain. I'm not sponsored by Squarespace. They don't pay me to say that. I just really like using Squarespace. Definitely recommend Squarespace. You can create your own website. You don't have to pay anybody to make your website for you. You can make it yourself. They have great templates. You don't have to be some computer whiz, super creative to make your own website. Gasper, Zach, do you need to get business insurance when you are just starting your bookkeeping business, or when is the right time to get it, in your opinion? I got my errors and omissions insurance 6 months after I started, 9 months after I started my bookkeeping business. How do you determine your fees for project tracking? Marshall, I do $4 per transaction if they want project tracking or class tracking. So I will add up their number of transactions, find out their average number of monthly transactions, and multiply that by 4 if they want project or class transactions. Have you started reading Hormozi's new book? Yes, KLC. I'm listening to the podcast. So I'll be totally honest. I actually don't really read a lot, but I listen to a lot of podcasts. So Hormozy has his $100 million money offers book on his podcast for free. I've been listening to it on his podcast. Great book. Alex Hormozy, huge inspiration, really smart. Definitely recommend check him out. Hi, Zach. Where do you recommend taking intro accounting classes? Local community college. Definitely recommend local community college online. I took mine Penn State online. I used my military benefits to take it for free, but I think you could probably take a college class for maybe $1,000, which is pretty expensive, but $1,000 to get that experience, to have that confidence. The confidence is what's really important. Parham, how do you deal with AP and AR balances? If you price based on bank or credit card transactions, how do you price supplier reconciliations and payment runs? So if people don't hire me to manage AP and AR, I don't touch it. I'm I don't touch it, especially if you're cash basis, AP and AR, I don't really care about it. If you're accrual basis, it is important. But if these clients are typically entering their own bills and their own invoices. So if they're managing it themselves, unless they ask me to help with it, I don't really touch it. David, I'm marketing on LinkedIn and connecting with business owners in my city. I'm posting content a few times a week and not getting traction. Any recommendations to get clients over LinkedIn? David, you got to create content every single day. You have to connect with local business owners. Send 20 to 30 connection requests every day on LinkedIn to local business owners and engage with your connections. Comment on posts. Comment on 10 posts every single day. And I promise you, if you do that, you will start to grow on LinkedIn. Johnny, I know your pricing is transactions times 3. What if they need AP, AR? How do you price that? Johnny, same concept. Average number of transactions per month. Accounts receivable, $10 per accounts receivable. Accounts payable, $5 per accounts payable per month on average. Minimum $100. Brett, do you ever struggle to have new clients to share their statements for the quote, or do they typically give that pretty willingly? Sometimes they are slow to do it. Other times, no, not really. There's not really much pushback. And if they don't want to do that, then I'll say, okay, fine, just invite me to your QuickBooks. Or if they don't want to do either of those things, that's fine. Send me your general ledger. Go to QuickBooks and send me your general ledger for the past 3 months. If you don't, or so I just remind clients that a bank statement, the only information that a bank statement might have is their account number. But I also remind clients, every time you send a check, your account number and routing number are literally on the check that you send out in the mail or that you give people. So the account number isn't really that super secret, top secret. But if you really don't feel comfortable sending me your bank statements with your account number, then block it out, print it out, take a Sharpie, cut it out, X it out, cross it off so that your account number is not being shared. But other than that, there's really not much personal information on people's bank statements. Let's see, 2 more questions. Is there a minimum you have for fix and flip or construction clients, and how do you charge for adding receipts to their books? Brett, same concept for adding receipts as project tracking. That's an extra dollar for all the transactions, not just the transactions that get a receipt, but if you have 100 transactions per month, and if you want project tracking, I'm going to charge you $400 a month. If you want project tracking and receipt matching, that's an extra dollar. I'm going to charge you $500 per month if you have 100 transactions per month and you want project tracking and you want me to match receipts. I saw here Intuit QuickBooks for Pro Advisor, but I think it's not free. Is it free in other site? It's free to become a certified QuickBooks Pro Advisor. Go to Google, type in QuickBooks Online Accountant. Zach, what the thin line for bookkeepers to offer advisory services without the need certifications for fractional CFO services or tax advice? Brian, I'm not a fractional CFO. I don't really know anything about advisory services. Honestly, I don't know. I'm not the guy to ask for that. I'm sorry. I just do bookkeeping. I've had a ton of success just categorizing transactions, reconciling accounts, and creating financial reports. So if you want to make a lot of money, you don't have to offer advisory services. You just have to get a lot of bookkeeping clients, and you have to automate your processes, and you have to get really efficient doing bookkeeping. If you want to make a lot of money, that means you have to get a lot of clients, but you only have so much time in the day. So you have to get really fast and really efficient at doing the bookkeeping. How much QuickBooks control do you allow your clients to have? I am afraid they will mess up the books if they have full access. Yes, that does happen. My clients mess up their books all the time. I generally tell people, hey, let me do everything. I will do everything in your QuickBooks. It's easier for everybody, but sometimes they still want to write checks and AP, AR. People will mess things up in QuickBooks. That's just part of the job. Try to coach people. If you see they're making mistakes, email them. Be like, hey, you incorrectly did this. Be polite, be respectful, be professional, but let them know, hey, maybe they don't know they're messing things up. Hey, you made this mistake. You messed this up. Just letting you know, if you could try to do it this way instead, that way it's done correctly in the future. So if you see mistakes, just let them know and coach them on how to do it correctly. Last question. So I'm a QBO certified accountant with over 20 years of experience, and my website's ready, but I'm having trouble marketing my services. What do you think I should do? Take my course. I've got a course in the description of this video, or watch some of my other videos. I've got a 20-minute video on my YouTube channel that goes into very detailed explanation how to do sales and marketing, how to get your first client, how to grow your business. Check it out. Social media marketing. Go to my website, buy my course. And last thing, if you want to invest in Zip Capital, I'm offering 8% up to 12% fixed returns to accredited investors. Join, register on my website. The link is in the description. I got to go. Thank you all so much. I will see you all next Friday, same time, same place, 10 a.m. Check out all the links in the description of this video if you want more additional resources. Have a great weekend.